Good morning. Nice to be here with everybody.
Yes, good morning. International Market Centers and Design on High Point want to welcome you to our fall programming for High Point Market, which actually is starting today on site and runs until next week through the 21st. Today we have Erin Valencic with Erin V Design Group, and she'll be talking about our new customer, understanding the millennial designer and their digital first client. This is CEU accredited, so if you signed up through Zoom or if you need that information, it will be emailed out to you later on. If you have any questions, please go ahead and submit those through our Q&A button down there in your tab, and we'll get to those towards the end. If you're looking for more information about other CEU opportunities or upcoming webinars, digital resources, which showrooms might be open, please visit our website at imchighpointmarket.com. And Erin, it's over to you.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. Yes, we are going to be talking about millennial shopping habits, client habits, and kind of how we got to where we are today and what we can do to streamline our businesses and be more successful with our new consumer. So before we start talking about millennial shopping, I think it's really important to understand the evolution of where we have come from in the digital space over the last 20 years, so we can look at where we're going for the next 20. And hopefully these insights kind of inspire the way you look at your own business evolution. I think now more than ever in 2020, we're all looking for a new way to be more efficient, more effective, and still have that one-on-one touch, even though we are farther away. So a little about me before we get into it. My version 1.0, prior to starting a design firm, I spent 6 years in media. So I ran a business for a lifestyle expert. We had shows on HGTV, regular contributorships on the Today Show, Oprah, The View, and did a lot of media-based segments. So I actually skipped high school, I skipped college. I left high school early and went straight to work. So by the time I was 24, I had garnered a pretty impressive resume in the media space and then started my interior design firm. So for the last 16 years, I've run Erin V Design Group. We're based here in LA, but do projects around the country. Also had a showroom for my furniture collection on Robertson for 3 years. And we have Erin V Furniture, which is all handcrafted here in Los Angeles and sold through design center showrooms around the country. So after that experience, about 4 years ago, I was like, my gosh, why is the paperwork side of our business so hard? And it's so much more difficult to connect with my team, have that transparency into projects. We're doing so much manual entry and paperwork and redundancy. I set out to build a software platform to help streamline the back end. So I'm going to share some insights that I've learned while spending 4 years building software for our space, raising money from venture capital, interviewing tons of designers about their process, interviewing tons of showroom sales teams about their process, and of course, as manufacturers trying to connect with designers through showrooms, just learning from everybody in the industry about pain points, and really started to see that we're all basically doing the same thing, and there's so much wasted time on everybody's side. So it's really time, I think, for all of us to put at the forefront of our business an evolution of process. I like this quote from Tony Robbins. Everyone likes to talk about how much money they're making, but how much money are you losing? And particularly as a small design firm, I mean, every hour counts. And I know that for years, I never tracked my team's time like I should have, and my own. And it's really, really important to think about how we can streamline these days. And more importantly, and I think that's very relevant for the design space, is keep in mind, we're all in sales, but that people buy feelings, not things. And I think particularly as we are connecting more remotely, not having as many in-person client meetings, and also being able to just scale yourself up, and maybe you're getting into some e-design or doing more projects for more people with a lower effort level, you still want to connect and share on that feelings side of things, not just on the things side of things. So according to the Financial Times, millennials are the world's most powerful consumers. Not only have they surpassed baby boomers, but they will be the most powerful spenders. So understanding our now generation and our future customer, they're going to continue garnering wealth, right? So by 2030, most millennials will be in their prime working and spending years. And the way businesses can really stay ahead of competition is to cater towards the millennial generation. And that starts, of course, with a better understanding of their expectations and behaviors. So how do luxury brands and design companies grow with millennial consumers? Ultimately, by giving them digital freedom. And so the luxury market has been growing at a staggering pace in recent years, yet luxury brands face serious challenges in the years ahead if they fail to engage millennial consumers on their own terms. So what does that mean for us? How can your clients have better access to their project? How can you be sharing more in a more transparent way about the process, about lead times, about price points, all the things that make them feel more connected to the process? And at the end of the day, our largest consumer audience, their main mentality is, don't make me wait, don't make me call, and don't make me think. So they want it to be super, 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 super easy. Millennials actually avoid making phone calls like the plague. Most would prefer a data plan on their phone over a voice plan. And so it's all about streamlining. Anything that is frustrating or overly time consuming needs to be streamlined. These days, clients are super frustrated by broken processes and lack of transparency and efficiency in design today. So if you find yourself doing the same work, you're transferring data from a PDF quote to Excel, to a PowerPoint, back to an invoicing, back to an Excel, that's super inefficient. We have to stop time, because ultimately you can be getting other clients and doing more design projects and have a more profitable, successful business, and have more happy, wonderfully thrilled clients at the speed of their project communication than if you're wasting your time on old processes. On the other side of that, the digital face of your brand should be the most important aspect of your business, right? It used to be that your website was your most important calling card. Now it's Instagram or Facebook. If you went to your Instagram and Facebook, would you hire you? Is it telling the story of your designs? Is it telling the story of the transformations that you've taken spaces through? By 2020, millennials will also be 75% of the design office. And that goes back to wanting to be able to find everything instantly at their fingertips, not having to do much redundant work in the office. And of course, they shop brands online first. And so ones that make it easiest are going to get the most business. But that also means your design office needs to be very, very, very shoppable online, whatever that means to you. So how do we get here? Why is our largest consumer audience so impatient, so curious for behind the scenes details, and at the same time, so open to sharing and valuing experience over things? Well, let's take a quick look at the last 20 years in tech. I think Google is a great reference point. They're on track to reach $1 trillion valuation, and they're growing still. They're growing faster now than ever, 26% increase in revenue year over year. And their mission statement, I think, is the most important thing: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So how did they become so powerful? I think ultimately it's a trend that we're seeing in all businesses, right? Knowledge, access, understanding, and speed. Google wasn't the first search engine, but they did it best. And people just want instant answers and quick access to knowledge about brands and services. They're used to getting a complete view now of something. So that means transparency, reviews, social proof, options. Think about it. When you go to buy a product, how many reviews do you read? Where are you checking for this complete view and that sense of understanding and knowledge about a product or a service, right? We all do it, but I think very few designers actually put that forward on their website, out in their Instagram, so that when clients are looking to hire them, they get an understanding of the process. So data is no longer shielded, it's open to everyone. And I think as a design office, that means more information, more sharing, more storytelling, right? Clients really want to feel connected to the process. So in the information age, sharing is power, and one to many. Social media is really just another way to share, right? It's the new advertising. So how can you create tools that allow your teams to share on a broader stage? How can you do one project and share it out to so many more? Well, that's through all these incredible vehicles we have these days that are free. Also for your clients, thinking about how do you distill down massive amounts of information into bite-sized pieces that you can easily share with your clients. and more importantly, that they can share with their friends to become your next client. I've seen a lot of designers doing really incredible onboarding kits that not only look beautiful, but their client can keep it. It's got the emotional journey. It's got what to expect. It's got a breakdown of hours and where they're spent on the job. You know, it's not like we all just get to go shop all day and just do pretty things. There's a massive amount of administrative work that goes into projects. And so giving your client that transparency up front, letting them know what to expect, can often set you both off in a better start to your relationship. An article I find really fascinating was put out by Mark Andreessen called "Why is Software Eating the World?" back in 2011. I would highly recommend everybody read it. Andreessen Horowitz is one of the top venture capital firms in the country, incredibly successful businessman. And, you know, it's really interesting to look at that, yes, software is taking over so many broken processes and there to make our life easier. But why is it so popular? Why has it shifted the way we communicate and the way we learn? And after all, our industry is all about communicating for commerce, sharing knowledge to sell products. And at the same time, you hear all the time from designers, educating our client, educating our client, educating our client. So how can you take those things that you're always telling to your client and put them in a place where you can easily just push that out to the next one, right? Like, start thinking about that. How can you set up your teams for success so that if you're always telling a new team member something, how do you put it in a piece of software where that data is there forever and anybody can come basically self-serve themselves? And I think the reason number one that software is eating the world is that tech is help. The entire tech industry is about bringing service, helping someone, solving a pain point, adding value, creating impact. And with software, you can do it more than one-to-one. You can do it one-to-many. It builds a repeatable process to help people improve their lives, and that's powerful. Running a tech company, it's all about scale. How do you scale that process? How do you make it easier? How do you make it repeatable? How are you constantly improving the journey so that your business is more well-run, but also more profitable? You're not wasting time on things that don't matter, and you're not wasting extra time on things that could be done more efficiently. And fundamentally, technology has at its core the complete focus on constantly improving the customer experience. And I think that's something that you'll find if you talk to the most successful designers. They know they're in sales, they know the customer comes first, and they do everything possible to bend over backwards to make sure that that is an incredible journey for your customer. And I think these days particularly, how do you share the project with them to make that a great experience? Put yourself in their shoes and go through it in your head. How would you feel if you were on the receiving end of the service from your firm? And I think that's a shocking exercise to do and really enlightening. And maybe it's awesome. I was on a panel last week and one of the ladies said she has someone almost full-time giving gifts to clients. It's their job to package up fabric samples in the most beautiful branded box from her firm, put little chocolates inside so that the client receives a package from them. It's like a beautiful gift. And sometimes there are gifts, candles, etc. in there. And I just thought that was absolutely incredible that she was taking it so seriously into such an extreme that her packaging, even for fabric samples, was gorgeous. And I just love that. So another great quote from Steve Jobs: innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, threat, right? We're all in that moment now. How do we make the best of the situation and then rapid advancements? In many ways, design firms are able to do so much more now because we're not driving to so many on-site meetings. There's a lot of wasted time that was being spent in the car and also doing job site meetings that were not necessary. So now you can be so much more effective and efficient with your time, but also looking back to make sure that you're still always evolving your process. So you're not just holding on to the old ways of doing things in a new time. Reason number two that software is eating the world is tech is freedom. The internet offers access to knowledge. Self-education these days is topping $355 million a day and growing. It's supposed to be $1 billion spent every day online on self-education by 2025, which is unbelievable. I know for me, I've built a channel of design courses that I'm offering to people at different levels. Designers who want to get into the business, homeowners that might be taking on a renovation on their own. Only 1 in 10 that could hire a designer does. So there's 9 other humans out there that could be interacting with your firm in some way. See a lot of designers these days putting together e-design packages, right? So that you can scale yourself up. Today's billionaires all have one thing in common. They invested heavily in their own ability to learn. So constantly evolving yourself, learning more, understanding better ways to do things. Especially in the service business, time is money, right? And we can't create more time, or can we? I think that goes back to really being very serious with yourselves and your teams about how everyone spends their time. And reason number 3 is tech is speed. The speed of particle flow alone equals power. The faster the particles can move, the better you can do. The more power your business gains, the more power your life gains. So holding on to slow processes will not bode well for businesses in the next 10 years. And Peter Drucker, the father of American business, says business has only 2 functions, marketing and innovation. And when I heard that at first, I was like, what? That's not true. There's all these other things that business has to do. But ultimately, at its core, these are the 2 most important things you could focus on: getting the word out and constantly evolving your process. Reason number 4 is tech is innovation. Look at this. The phone book could have been Google, but they didn't innovate. I mean, this is exactly Google, right? Phone numbers, contact information, and ads. Google just did it better. They evolved an old process into knowledge, access, understanding, and speed. The phone book was not fast, right? It was not able to be kept up. It had all kinds of issues because it was print. And then when it moved to digital, I mean, they should have been the first ones to jump on this. And reason number 5 is tech is value. For millennial designers and their digital first clients, businesses need to function faster and more efficiently, period. Bring them what they want quickly and accurately with a good experience, and they'll come back and buy more. Take a long time and cause hassle and mistakes, and they won't be back. Especially for designers who, the majority of us, we get our clients on referral, right? You need them to be thrilled by the end of the project. And I find most clients are so broken down by the fragmented process. It's slow, it's disappointing when it comes to having so many invoices and paperwork. You don't know the timelines, right? There's so many reasons they don't come back. And I think focusing on your customer experience, your marketing as number 1 is going to be incredibly and increasingly important as clients become younger and more savvy, and they expect everything instantly because that's what happens in the rest of our world. So only 1 in 10 that could hire a designer does. So what are you doing to market to those other 9? We've talked about innovation. Now let's talk about marketing. Number 6 is tech builds a repeatable process, right? Software helps you build a repeatable process in your business, which allows your customers more time and allows you to bring them more value. Designers on a fixed fee need this more than anything else. So from Google, some learning points. How can you organize your office's information and make it universally accessible and useful? There's great tools for not only training your team, but also being able to share processes with clients. How can you offer up faster answers with a repeatable process? Do the work once, right? And use it forever. We've built a digital library for my software company. It's available to all of you guys for free. You can put everything you find at market in it, tag the showroom, tag the brand, and be able to find those products with 2 clicks. That's the kind of organizing your office's information that I think makes a really big change in how much time it takes you to find products, things that you've already loved and found at market. I mean, how many of us have pictures from showrooms after showroom after showroom? You have no idea where you were. You look back and you're like, oh gosh, I was at High Point last fall. Where did I find that lamp? So how can you make the process of design more repeatable for your team, easier to understand for your client, and far easier for them to navigate, particularly the financials and the lead times? And what have you done to make your services even more visible online? It's not enough just to have an Instagram or Facebook. You have to really be sharing that experience so it jumps through the screen at them. And how are you making it easier to buy through you than anywhere else? I think that's a big pain point the industry is still working to solve. That's something very important that we're trying to solve for the industry with Style Row, is making it so easy for designers to buy through brands and to push that data through to their client instantly, right? Less copy paste, less mailing checks, less filling out of credit card authorization forms. All of these old processes slow us down. and they're frustrating as heck to clients. And they certainly don't make your business more valuable because we have to process a lot of paperwork, right? So we're trying to streamline the back office for everybody. And quickly, let's look at the evolution of the marketplace. I think this is just really fascinating to look back at Craigslist. It was the first marketplace. It was very much like a phone book listing, right? Then each of these subcategories kind of morphed into a new category, breaking out with more robust versions. Dating, apartment rentals, jobs, reselling old stuff. And you see a lot of the big platform names basically just took a piece of Craigslist, right, and made it more engaging. And so each of these categories grew further to offer more services. It wasn't just about a listing, just about that phone book experience. It now became layering services, right? And now the new generation of marketplaces are growing into our space, the high touch service industry. And so we're getting more complex offerings in software that match our process. And that's exactly what I'm building. So marketplace basics is the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Information overload can be paralyzing. Millennials want quick responses, but they don't want to spend too much time sifting through tons of sources to find the right product or service to purchase. 90% of millennials research product reviews online before making a purchase. So when you're offering things up to your client, how can you make it super, super easy for them, right? And the same, obviously, for brands reaching designers. That's a separate topic and also very important. But having that social proof, if you know they want to review things, maybe you can provide some reviews to them. And so what does this mean for us? Streamline your offering as a designer, make it easy to understand quickly, offer all the knowledge about the products and your services up digitally, and provide value by saving them time. Now let's look at some mobile habits. I think this is also incredibly important as you think about sharing projects with designers, your work, etc., being accessed. It's not being accessed on a big, giant, gorgeous screen. It's being accessed on a tiny little screen really, really quickly. So 2.38 billion monthly active users, and this was actually numbers from last year, so I'm sure it's up, on Facebook mobile. It's not an accident that the redesign of Facebook is being released on mobile apps first. Facebook makes over 90% of its advertising revenue from mobile users. It's another sign that you need to be deeply thinking about how you're reaching customers in an increasingly mobile-first world. I mean, how many of us here today boost your posts? Are you out there spending a few dollars on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram to get your design work in front of your potential clients? Because they're all on there. And that's what we should be doing, right? It's time to think about, where is your customer? How do they want to engage with you? What device are they on mostly? And get yourself in front of them. Facebook is also rolling out new tools to help users buy and sell things through its marketplace. The app's user-to-user shopping hub. I mean, I know I've not even explored this yet. Users will be able to make payments directly on Marketplace and handle shipping directly through the social network. WeChat in China has been doing this for years and years and years. It's like a behemoth platform for everything. Instagram has a monthly active users of 1 billion. This is the new advertising, right? All of us are on it, but are we using it as a client acquisition tool? More than 500 million people log into their Instagram accounts every single day. And 64% of those users are between 18 and 34. So if your audience fits in that bracket, you kind of need to be on Instagram if you want to get noticed. And 60% of users first heard about a product on Instagram. I mean, this is the new shopping habits, right? This is how our clients are used to engaging with us. So when you go from this to sending them PDF invoices that are all fragmented, like, think about that user journey, right? That is messy. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to be streamlining your business so that your invoices and everything are going to them digitally. They click, hey, it's done. They don't have to think about it. Getting them faster answers, faster approvals from your client, and streamlining the payments so it's less frustrating. Mobile shopping habits, growing, growing, growing. 30% of users bought something they discovered on Instagram first. And 78% of big retail brands have shoppable Instagram accounts. They've added a buy now button to their products, so their customers can click and buy without ever having to leave Instagram. I think this is something that we're going to see coming into our space in the future years, right? Being a high touch industry, we're always kind of the last to evolve, but knowing it's coming, I think, can start setting you up to start using better software in your business that is going to enable you to do this and make it really easy for your team to scale your ability to sell product. LinkedIn is the professional social platform, and it's a B2B goldmine, business to business. That can be us, right? We are B2B and B2C industry. So LinkedIn is the most used social platform among Fortune 500 companies. Microsoft acquired it for $26 billion in 2016. And of the 2 billion millennials globally, 87 million of them are on LinkedIn. So you simply cannot ignore millennials, and you don't necessarily have to crack the Snapchat marketing code to reach them. I know, I strongly dislike Snapchat. There are 11 million millennial decision makers on LinkedIn. That makes it entirely possible to get to the millennials holding the buying power without ever touching Snapchat or Instagram. I think LinkedIn is incredibly underused by our industry. Mobile is booming on LinkedIn's mobile user numbers reflect that. So they're on their phones, they're engaging, and it's a way that you can not only reach your potential customers, but also start to market your business on a broader scale. So I think ultimately we have a very solvable problem in front of us, right? Generally, it's a lack of evolution of process or holding on to old processes for too long. A long process just means it costs money. Human time is the heaviest burden that a business feels. So think about that client that has to pay their designer for hours and hours and hours and hours of copying and pasting data, of administrative work. And then think about that showroom who's spending countless hours on follow-up doing the same thing. They aren't selling, they're doing follow-up. So how can we set our businesses up from the beginning, the epicenter, to run smoother, run faster, which means sales teams can actually sell, designers can design without such a huge administrative burden. Transparency and communication make for a successful relationship. The client's general opinion is there's a lot of opacity in this industry due to old processes and poor communication. If you think about it in a lot of ways, we're like door-to-door salesmen still, right? We all show up with our little bag of goodies and we throw samples out on the table and we take it all back to our office. That's a very old school way to do business. So yes, we always are going to need to see fabrics in person and furniture in person and lighting in person because it's stuff you live with. But the process of selling it and the process of processing orders doesn't have to be the same. So really think about the digital side of your business. And the time is now. Designers are the frontline sales team for our industry. We need to provide a frictionless purchase process with digitized selling tools so clients have a better experience with the luxury design industry and continue to refer their friends. Referrals are 90% of a designer's business, yet only 1 in 10 that could hire a designer does. So again, there's 9 other customers out there for all of us. If designers can do more projects, we can all sell more product and the industry will grow. So the good news is that tech has meant a booming luxury market. Since 2000, the number of millionaires globally has grown 170%, while the number of high net worth individuals over 50 million has multiplied 5-fold. And one need they all share is decorating their home, or in many cases, their multiple homes. These days, particularly, people are buying second and third homes, the lake house, the mountain house, getting out of the cities, right? They're not traveling, they're not spending money on expensive clothes or dinners out. So they have a lot of time and money to invest into their homes. So now more than ever is a time for our industry to really be going after those customers. And just to show you really quickly what I've been building with Style Row, again, it's free software for all of you. You guys are welcome to check it out, is to build that repeatable process. It's something that I take very seriously in my company. How can I do the work once and reuse it over and over again? You know, you go and you find 9 sofas for a project, you buy 1. How do you save those other 8 for the next job? You've already done the research, you've already got the pricing, you've got all the specs. So if you use a digital a digital library that your whole team can access, you can make all that great work that you do a repeatable process. So this allows you to put absolutely anything you want into it, the vendor, the showroom, etc., and drop it into a project in seconds and get it in front of your client with 1 click. So it's a really cool software. You can build out your inspiration boards, etc. The project software is very, very visual. And we put the project in here once, get it in front of your clients with 2 clicks, export to export to Excel or PowerPoint with 1 click. We have a connected budget tool and a connected client dashboard. So again, shedding all of the wasted time that we would do transferring data from one project to another. I challenge all of you to think about where your project data is. Are you texting with people? Are you Instagramming? Are you Facebooking? Are you on WhatsApp with clients? Are you emailing with clients? Are some people calling you and you're making notes in your office? You've got data in Excel. You've probably got it in PowerPoint or Keynote or InDesign. And maybe you've also then got it in a QuickBooks or a Studio or an Ivy, right? That's 9 places to manage a project. That's insanity. No wonder we're all overworked and underpaid and stressed out and feeling like we're completely underwater. If you have 9 places to look for your project data, is that efficient? Is that good for your business? Absolutely not. And that's the kind of stuff that we really need to streamline and focus on, getting the communication in one place. So Style Row is built to let your whole team in, and you can share product out with clients faster, get approvals, and track all their feedback into the project where your whole team can see it. So team collaboration has never been easier. Here's a look at the client dashboard. Again, how is that experience for your client? You know, MyDoma has a similar thing. Ivy has some similar things. None of them work the way we do because we were actually built from the inside as a very streamlined professional business tool. So it's a little bit unique in the way that I'm solving this issue. Plus, we have a marketplace connected. But take a look at it. It's a great way to be able to get product in front of your clients faster and get them to approve so you can go and order. They can also communicate with your whole team right in there and pull that right back into your project view, streamlining all of the cut and paste and the looking for answers time. And then, of course, there's a budget tool connected, so everything you put in your project, you can pull right through to your budget. And our beautiful marketplace, more high-end, much more design center brands at this point, but we are moving down market to the more mass market and more in-stock product, and bringing on brands that you find at market at High Point as well. So that is my presentation. If any of you would like to get a copy of the deck, I'll provide it to Kim and we can get that out to you. And then, of course, if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. So type them in the chat and let's see. Yep, love Facebook Marketplace, huge savings. Let's see. Linda says, loves the Facebook Marketplace, huge saving source for local and small budget projects. Awesome, that's great to know. I will have to check it out. Anywho, I like to keep these a bit on the short side so that we don't run into an hour, hour and a half presentations. I know they can be super, super exhausting. But feel free to shoot me an email, erin@stylerow.com, if anybody has questions or if you'd like to see some of the presentation packets that the designers I was mentioning are using. I think it's really great to share more about how we work and successful aspects that we've all developed and uncovered in our businesses. So happy to share that with you guys and really appreciate your time today. Tanya says,
thank you, Erin.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like Erin said, if you want that information, we can send that out to everybody who registered through our Zoom platform, and we'll get it to you. And we want to welcome you and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Erin.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good one, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye.